Hi, I'm Jessica Bassett, and today I'm going to be talking about the positives and benefits of using social media in the classroom. So first off, there's a big push for social media in the classroom because of the National Technology Standards for Teachers and Students, which says that you need to be incorporating technology in the classroom and into your curriculum. So I'm going to share some great apps, websites, and just different things like that that you could use in your classroom. So you can use these apps and social media to communicate with students, parents, and your fellow educators. So your class could communicate with experts in a certain field, such as like the weather station or anything. And students could have e-pals across the world that they could practice their writing skills with and that they could learn about other cultures with. There's also some really cool sites for communicating with parents and your students. So I have a few really neat ones on my phone that I plan on using in my future classroom, and even a couple that I used when I was in school. So Edmodo is one of the ones that I used when I was in school. So it kind of looks like Facebook or something like that. And so I'm in my business tech class right now. And see, I could post a question or start a discussion. My teacher has all kinds of posts on here where she shares links. You can turn assignments in on here. So that is a really cool one. Google Classrooms is also really popular right now, and I also have Google Classrooms on here. You can also turn in assignments on Google Classroom, which is really cool. And you can send out reminders and rubrics and all kinds of stuff to your students. And another good thing about Google Classroom is it allows for differentiation of instruction, because you can send out different instructions and assignments and topics and readings and stuff to your students in Google Classroom. So that's really cool. And ClassDojo is probably my favorite, and I saw it when I was in a second grade placement a couple semesters ago. So this is what it looks like, and it's for monitoring behavior. So for example, I have all my students on here. So I have Bethany, so I can click on Bethany, and Bethany has 3 positive points. So Bethany helps others, she's on task, and different stuff like that. And then I also have a section where needs work. So let's say Bethany didn't turn in her assignment, so I can give her a negative point. And it says -1 for Bethany not turning in her assignment. And parents can see all that, so that's really cool because they can see right away what their student did and in that time how they're behaving in the classroom. Remind is also really cool, and it's for communicating with parents for reminders about anything really. If you have a field trip coming up or a class event, or they need to bring in something for a project, anything like that. Kahoot is one of my favorites as well, and I use this in the college classroom, and it could be used in elementary, high school, middle school. It's something that could be used for any grades. So basically you come up with questions on there, and then your class can respond, so it's really engaging. So they could do it on their phones, their tablets, computers, whatever your school allows them to be on during the day, and they could answer the questions, so you can kind of gauge their understanding of the lesson. There's also a really neat app called Teach, Learn, Lead, and it's so you can communicate with your fellow teachers all across the world. You can talk about lesson plans, you can make polls, all kinds of cool stuff like that. There's also a really neat website and app called ClassTree, which allows you to go paperless with parental consent forms. So if you're going on a field trip, you don't have to worry about students taking that permission slip home and returning it in 2 or 3 days. You can just send it on the app, and the parents can just sign it on their screen and send it to you. So that's really, really cool for gaining permission from parents, and that's called ClassTree. You also have your traditional apps and social media sites such as Facebook and Instagram. And while I do not advise becoming friends with your students on there, it would be cool if you created a private page for your parents and students to see pictures, posts, and reminders on there, so that would be cool. And another cool idea for Instagram is to allow older students to create an Instagram on a topic that interests them or a historical event. In my history class this semester, we created Instagrams on historical events. I did mine on the Compromise of 1877, but there was all kinds of other awesome events. I love history, so But just remember that you have to have parental consent to post any pictures of students or their work online. And also, before doing anything with social media and technology, you need to teach students how to use the internet safely. And you should always be monitoring them to make sure that they're not viewing inappropriate content and to make sure that no cyberbullying is going on. So just make sure when teaching them about the internet that they never post personal information such as their address and their phone numbers on the internet. Make sure that they aren't chatting with people that they don't know. They need to be kind and respectful of others' differing opinions. You shouldn't use sarcasm online because it doesn't necessarily come across as a joke to people who don't know you in writing. They need to use proper grammar, spelling, and punctuation. You shouldn't use text lingo when you're typing things online. You need to make sure that you're thinking before you're typing. If you wouldn't say it to someone's face, then you shouldn't post it online. And you also need to know that things on the internet don't disappear just because you deleted them. If someone screenshots it, then they always have it. So you just need to make sure that you're being smart about what you're posting. But I hope this gave you lots of cool ideas and awesome websites and apps to use in your future classroom, because I definitely plan on using a lot of these.